So you get 12 points for winning the race. I need at least 2 points. So I need to finish 9th. 9th or better. Hey guys, welcome back to my Gran Turismo 7 playthrough. This is race 5 of the World GT Car Championship. This is actually the final race of the championship here, and this is actually the final race of, if you want to call it, the actual campaign of Gran Turismo 7. So this race was an absolute nightmare. I knew it was going to be leading up to it. If you've been watching my previous videos, you know that I had been struggling to control this GT3 Huracan. This was pre-patch, before they patched the handling of these cars. So this GT3 Huracan was absolutely horrible to try to drive. So I was struggling this entire championship. You add in the fact that this race is happening at night, so it's really difficult to see what's coming ahead of you. And this track is known for having a lot of blind corners anyways, so makes it extremely difficult. I mean, it's just hard to see what's coming up ahead of you. Not to mention, we've started like 40 seconds behind the leaders, so we have this humongous gap to make up on a track that's extremely difficult, at dark, in a car that I struggle to control during the corners. So, in the end, this race was absolutely infuriating. I couldn't tell you how many times I attempted this race and just completely failed. And if you've seen the beginning, what I was talking about with the points is I was figuring up, since I'm in the lead in the championship coming into this race, I knew that basically I don't need to win this race because I have such a lead in the points, and that's why I tried so hard to win those previous races in the championship. I knew this track was going to be a struggle for me. I've never been super great at this track. I don't know what it is about it, but you know, I really am not great at this track. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to pass people. It might be that it's got so many corners, it's hard to memorize every single one of them. Props to the people that can do that. I haven't quite done it enough to be at that point, so a lot of it is just I'm reacting as it comes, which I don't like to do. I prefer to, you know, have a feel for the track and know what I'm getting ready to get myself into. So yeah, I mean, I'm struggling on this track as it is anyways. So I had figured it up, and you know, based on the points that we're getting, I knew that I needed to finish at least 9th place to have a chance at winning this, because if I came 9th place, I would get 2 points, and if the second place person actually finished second in this race, he would get 10 points, and that would put us at even. We would actually be tied, which would still count it as a win for us. So I knew I needed to at least come 9th place and get those 2 points, but anything past that should put me into kind of a victory area. So I knew my goal at minimum was to come 9th, but I really wanted to shoot for better than that. Obviously, I would prefer to win, but as you can see with our time difference here, you know, we're 33 seconds behind the leader still at this point. I mean, and it's extremely difficult for me to catch up. You know, I'm driving as hard as I can while not crashing, which, you know, is super easy to do in this car on this track. So I'm really driving at my limits the entire time with this race, and I mean, you can see right there, I'm sliding around, was barely able to keep control of the car, and you know, I've gained a couple seconds on him, but you'll see, you know, like one small little mess up there, and he starts to pull away just a little bit again. So really pushing the limits here. Well, luckily the sun is starting to come up, so we can actually start to see a little bit better. But I mean, this is only lap 1. By the end of this lap, the sun should be pretty much all the way up, and you know, we should be able to see pretty well going into the second lap. But we still have to get through the majority of this lap, not being able to see the best. And as you can see with my pace here, like I'm struggling to catch up with this guy in 15th. I know it's going to be a long battle to get all the way to the lead, and I think one of the big things that I hate about this track the most, as you can see, getting a little squirrely there, and we biffed it. But I was able to spin the car back out of that a little bit, Don't know how,
What a
actually.
goddamn bump.
And
I mean, what can you do
was able to
about
get
that?
going again.
There's fucking bumps in the goddamn
Didn't
road,
lose my
and it just
position, but you can
launched
see
you
now
into the fucking air
I'm pushing
like
even
none
harder.
fucking other,
I've kind
so
of
that you
gotten
have
out
to
of my
drive
rhythm.
that full
I'm
fucking
struggling a
throttle the
little
whole
bit.
goddamn time.
And there I lost my position. So now I'm back down to 6th or 17th actually. Trying to fight my way back up into 16th. There we go. So now we're 6 seconds behind this guy that was in front of us. And as I was getting ready to say, like, one of the biggest struggles with me on this track is getting around people. I mean, it's barely wide enough for two cars to be side by side. And with the AI on this game the way it is, and I've heard that, I think I've seen it in the patch notes that they've changed where the AI drive on the track now. I haven't done this track since the patch, so I don't know where they're driving. But I know when I was doing this race, or this track in general, throughout the entire campaign, the AI would drive like dead center in the track. And when they would do that, essentially you wouldn't have room to pass them on the left or the right, and basically without putting a wheel into the grass. And with these cars, you put a wheel in the grass, I mean, you're just asking to spin out. So it made it extremely difficult. You can see, like, the one car has moved over to the left, but that's because he was planning on passing there. But this Ford GT that's in front of us, he's almost dead center in the track. I was able to get around right there because the track got a little wider for a second. But, I mean, you look at this Ferrari that's in front of us, he's almost in the center of the track through most of this. So, I mean, where are you going to pass at? So I was able to dive bomb him in here, but it wasn't enough, and I was in the grass trying to do it anyways. Now, because of that dive bomb, I sped him up a little bit, and it made him go off the line. But yeah, I mean, I had to kind of put my nose in there and push him out of the way, because otherwise he would have been taking up the whole track. And as you can see, coming up on this next car here, same story. Dead center in the track, right in the way. I mean, he ran up there, which would have gave me a little bit of a gap if I was closer, but not really much of one. So every single car that you're passing is an absolute handful to pass. I mean, they're not just going to give you the position like they would in real life. You know, you get a nose in there, it's in the best interest of the person that's being passed to, you know, not completely fight it. As you can see, I slingshot past that person right there. But yeah, I mean, in real life, if a person starts to put their nose in there, I mean, you can try to block it, but in the end, you're going to end up crashing both of you. So most people, you know, you're going to respect that they have the spot there, and you're going to move up just a little bit, or at least hold your line and not crash each other. Well, the AI in this game, they do not care. They will run you right off the road. So makes it quite a pain. I mean, that's one thing that I do wish that they would kind of update their AI just a little bit more. Like, obviously it's been improved a bit since previous games, but there's still a major issue with the AI just kind of really refusing to leave that racing line.
One of them was right
and
there.
I mean, the racing line is obviously good to use for the most part, but when it comes to actual racing, like, you need to be moving off that line sometimes, you know, to pass or to let people pass or whatnot. But it's definitely a common issue in this game to be pushed off the road because the AI, like, refuses to leave that line. As you can see here, you know, I'm still flying around this track the best that I can. I'm kind of pushing it to the limits, but also, you know, trying to play it safe in some spots, where, especially on corners that I know I have issues flying off on. But you can see, like, this car right here, oop, just got a little loose there. This car right here, this GTR, I'm struggling to keep up with it. Yeah, I mean, he keeps pulling away from me in certain sections. We're coming around here to this long straight, and I know that this long straight is going to be a big opportunity for me because my car, you know, as with the previous episodes, my car is faster than theirs on the straights. It handles like crap in the corners, but on the straights, you know, I can make up some time. But as you can see, I'm still 28 seconds behind the leader, and I mean, to put it in perspective, they're crossing the start-finish line like right now, compared to where I'm at. I mean, it's a pretty huge difference, and so I'm kind of realizing that, like, there's a strong chance I'm not going to win this race. But I mean, at minimum, I need to at least try to get 9th place. Like I said, that's my goal. I mean, it seems like a ridiculous goal to, you know, why would you want to place 9th place in a race? But really, all I cared about was winning this tournament. I did not want to have to do these races again. I didn't test it to see what would happen. I tried to do all this in one sitting.
One lap
I
down.
feel like you are kind of required to do all of this in
amount
one
of
sitting.
distance
I don't think you can actually like
to catch up.
stop doing these races for a second and then come back into them. So my biggest fear was, you know, I've struggled through those other races at this point to get to here. Now I need to finish this race and win this championship so I don't have to do it again. Because the last thing I want to do is have to restart this entire championship, which has pretty much taken me the majority of a day of playing to win. Even though the races are only about somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes apiece. I mean, when you figure in the fact that there's, well, for one, there's 5 of them, and for 2, I mean, if you can win them all on your first attempt, then good job. I mean, it's probably way more possible now with the adjusted car physics and everything, but in this car at the time, I just struggled. I really struggled. So it took me a lot of attempts and a lot of hours to actually end up where I'm at here, and I did not want to have to do this again. So that's why I'm super focused, driving as hard as I can, while also trying not to drive too hard. I'm taking this opportunity here now that we're on this GP track portion. You know, this is more of an actual race track, which is more in my comfort zone here. So I'm trying to make up time, trying to pass some people where I can, because I know once we get back out onto the actual road course portion, I mean, it's going to get a little bit tougher. So I'm trying to make up a gap here. We got about 3 seconds to the next person, and you can see there's a pretty good amount of people right there in one area. So if we can pass them, you know, that'll put us up a couple more positions. So yeah, we just really have to catch up here. We got 2.5 seconds to the next place person. We're on the final lap here. I mean, there's only 2 laps, but when these races are or when these laps are this freaking long, I mean, it seems like it's been an eternity, but you know, you can see that first lap took 9 minutes. 9 minutes of agony on this track. I guess that's why its nickname is the Green Hell. So yeah, but as you can see here, you know, actually we've lost time. You know, I'm driving the best that I can, and we were at 2.5 seconds, and now we were up at like 3.2. We're coming back just a little bit. Now we're back down to 3. So the leader's still 24 seconds ahead of us, which is an absolutely insane amount of time. But as you can see, like on that straightaway, you know, I had a chance to open up the car a bit, was able to reel him back in just a tad. But when we get into these technical sections where I have to, you know, manhandle this car around these corners, that's where I start to struggle. So yeah, these flat out sections are what really helps us here. But then you have to really rein it in to come into these corners, because I mean, if you aren't extremely careful, this car is just gonna whip around on you. But we've caught up to the 10th place person here. As you can see, we're getting a little bit of a run on him, but he gets a little squirrely there. But as you can see, he's blocking the whole track, just the whole track. I mean, he keeps going a little bit to the right. There might be room to pass on the inside, but yep, see, that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to put my nose in there, but it's extremely difficult. He keeps shutting the door on me. Trying to get a run on him here. Gonna go around on the outside. There was a bit of a gap, and I was able to force my way in there. So now we're in 10th place, and I can see my goal right here in front of me, 9th place. So I give him a little love tap just to let him know I'm coming for him. Not really. I just did slow down at time. But still, 9th place right there. I know that that's where I need to be. If I can get ahead of that, then I know that there's a minimum, I should be able to have a strong chance at winning this championship. So I'm going to take this opportunity here. I come in on the inside, kind of give him a little push. He gives a little push back. The AI refuses to leave that line, so if you start to push them off the line, they're just going to push you right off the track. So coming in here, this is a nice slow section, but as I've said before, this car isn't the best when it comes to handling, so these slow sections are actually not the best for this car, at least with my driving of this car. So still just really struggling to get around these people. But as you can see, I mean, there's 3 people right here in front of us, so if we can start to get around them, I mean, that's going to put us in a decent spot. But I just lost a ton of time there. I kind of got cut off in that corner, lost a bunch of speed. But because this is a more flat open section, I'm actually able to rein him back in a little bit. Almost gave him another little love tap there. Yeah, I mean, you can see this in front of me. I mean, it's just so difficult to pass people on this track. I mean, props to the real life drivers that do this track. You know, the 24 hours of Nürburgring and all that. I mean, I can imagine how exhausting that must be. We finally are able to get past the person. So now we're in 9th place. We're struggling here to get past still, but look at that. Was able to just slingshot right by him. I'm not sure why they braked there, but you know what? I'll take it. So now we just got to run in on this person. We're getting a little loose there, little sketchy. So we're kind of, you know, trying to rein this back in, settle it back down a little bit. We're in 8th place, and we know now, you know, 8th place. That means that as long as we can finish here, we're gonna win this. We're gonna win this championship. I mean, if 9th place was gonna be a little iffy, 8th place, that should just about do it for us. And then we know, you know, 7th place for sure will win the championship. And it all has to do with how much or how well that person that's in 2nd place on the points does. If they come first, then we're gonna need to be like 6th or 7th or something like that. But if they come 2nd place, then right here where we're at now, at 8th place, should do the trick. As you can see, you know, they keep pulling away from me a little bit, and I mean, it's just a slinky effect of certain spots I'm just slower than them because of this car's handling, and then the speed that this car has on some straightaways kind of allows me to bring them back in just a little bit. So we're just kind of slinkying back and forth where they pull away and I reel them back in and they pull away again. It's a real struggle bus trying to win this, but also knowing in the back of my head that one little mistake, one little blip of the throttle on accident or anything, and this car's going to be going around. I would definitely be more confident doing this race if I was driving a car that handled the way I wanted it to. I mean, if that was the case, then I could drive a lot more confidently and not worry about it quite so much. But driving this car, knowing that any small amount of error this thing is gonna spin on me, I mean, it just does not instill confidence in me. So, just constantly on edge driving on this track, especially in this car. We get a big jump on them right there because we didn't slow down nearly enough. We almost flew off the track. That was almost disastrous right there. So we're coming up on the end of this track here, actually. We got this corner here, and then it's going to be into the long straight. And I know, you know, if I can keep at least somewhat close to these guys, going in and getting a good run here, going into this straightaway, I should be able to pull past these people. So right here, I'm just really wanting to get a good run. This is my last real big chance to make a move. I mean, it's clear at this point we are not winning this race, not even remotely close. But if we can pass a couple more people here, we can definitely secure our victory. So at this point, we know 6th place. There's pretty much no way I'm losing this tournament at this point, unless I crash, which is very possible. Yeah, as you can see, this 5th place person here, we're actually getting a good amount of speed on him. It was a little risky there hitting those rumble strips, but we're going to start slowing down early here. I do not want to crash. And as you can see, I actually get a little boop from him from behind. Almost crashed me.
5th place.
We're just going to kind of gently guide this thing in here.
Come on.
Final corner, we're just going to mash the gas here to the finish line. And we're gonna take 5th place. I mean, I was shooting for 9th or better. 5th place, we will take it.
There was no way I was winning that. No way. But 5th place, I mean, that was a solid performance. I mean, I lost by 20 seconds still. I mean, and I drove my ass off to try to get 5th. So, I mean, look at that difference. It's ridiculous. I still win, though. I win the overall tournament. That's all that matters. Oh my gosh. All of that work. All of that work. That took me multiple hours to complete. And it only gave me 150,000 credits. Absolutely absurd that that's all I got. Oh well, okay. I guess they're gonna give us a free car. Okay, I got a Pagani Huayra, which would be like what, like a million. So I guess that's something. Definitely not worth all that effort though. Not even remotely. Got the trophy finale. A 6-star roulette ticket.
Alrighty, guys. So while this is playing in the background and everything, with just kind of the finale portion of this, which is just a bunch of people basically telling you congratulations, I'm just gonna kind of give you guys my thoughts on everything. So, I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the game. I mean, the you know, the whole experience of driving this in this game is pretty incredible, and I mean, especially with this wheel, I'm really glad I was able to get this wheel. It really made the difference. Playing this with a controller would have been all right, but I mean, there's just so much more to it when you're playing it with the steering wheel, even if it makes it harder in some aspects. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed playing through this, and even though this is the last race and the actual campaign, I still intend on bringing out more episodes for this game. I definitely have some ideas in mind for some future videos with this series, and yeah, I mean, in general, just doing some races, and I like to race with you guys at some point. I feel like that would be kind of fun to get everybody in, and we'll just do some custom races together and kind of just hang out and, you know, do some races and have a good time together in this game. I'm planning on doing a few videos on some like online races. I have been doing some of the online races, and I have at least a few funny clips from it, and a few really good races that I've had so far that I'll be uploading in the future. So you guys will have to let me know what you think, what you thought of the series, and if you want to keep seeing more videos from this game. Otherwise, you know, we can move on to something else. I have another series that I know I need to work on. I still have all the footage that I need to go back and finish it. It wasn't super popular, but you know, I have all the footage, and it's something that I do want to go ahead and finish at some point. And hopefully you guys enjoy that a little bit. But yeah, there'll definitely be more projects coming out in the future, and more videos from Gran Turismo. So I hope to see you guys there. I really appreciate the support so far on this series, and yeah, until next time, guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time it may be, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yay, credits. There's no music playing. How are you gonna have credits without music?
Maybe it'll start up in a second.
It didn't start up. And I backed out.